I've been listening to this for 48 minutes. Do you hear how distorted this is? I just wanted to fix my iPhone's battery. A few weeks ago, I repaired my iPhone 12 mini with the help of an official Apple repair guide, using genuine Apple repair parts and nearly 100 pounds of tools, thanks to Apple's new self-service repair program. Now, sure, the parts, they're overpriced, and most of the tools, they're of questionable necessity, but I was generally positive about this new program. It was a step forward, a step in the right direction, however small. At least, that's what I thought until they shafted me. It should be known that I was alone in thinking that this program was a good thing, with the large majority of right-to-repair activists believing that this was, at best, malicious compliance, and, more likely, legislative manipulation by Apple. Let me be very clear. There is not a single modern flagship smartphone that has been designed with repairability in mind. Not one. Now, there are budget phones and repair-focused phones that utilize fasteners instead of glue, removable batteries in lieu of not, easily replaceable parts instead of encasing them in glass coffers, but they're not flagship. And I might suggest that's because the market didn't want that. People chose thinner, more structurally integral devices with more powerful processors thanks to increased thermal dissipation. They chose batteries, more capacious thanks to lesser surrounding material required to make them removable. They wanted resistance to water to be increased thanks to high-performance glues, etc. Now, could smartphone makers have made these features while retaining more repairable focused designs? Probably. Perhaps. But despite automated assembly, lesser material waste, limited SKUs, and narrower validation variants being amongst the benefits to smartphone makers as a result of lesser repairable smartphones, despite what you might think, operating margins, they haven't increased, despite the retail price of modern flagships going ever higher. This is all to say that I'm not actually blaming Apple for designing phones that aren't repair-friendly. That's not the problem in my eyes. In fact, most iPhones tend to be amongst the most repairable flagship handsets, not the least. No, the problem is that Apple is gatekeeping third-party repairs. It bothered me that I had to contact the self-service repair team and validate my serial number over the course of a 20-minute phone call to get my genuine Apple parts that I bought from them validated as not counterfeit. That is what is BS. And that is designed to discourage third-party repair. As if that wasn't bad enough, the end-user experience of the website that you have to use if you want to repair your own devices, is garbage. The site is not run by Apple, it's run by Spot, Service Parts or Tools Incorporated. And I don't think that Apple intends for it to be actively user hostile, but I suspect that because they don't really give a crap about third-party repair, they have farmed this whole project out to the lowest bidder. And the consequence is stuff like this. I just got an email this morning that said, your rental toolkit was not returned within the rental period. We will charge you $1,188. This is not the one that I pulled apart. This was the one that I got on the 1st of May, and look at it. This is a UPS drop-off label. We sent it back on the 6th of May with the labels that they provided. But they're charging me anyway. And now I've been on hold for 42 minutes to try to talk to someone to fix this. I'm about ready to just hang up and do a chargeback. This is absurd. Mahalo from the Big Island. I'm on vacation, but I did hear back from the self-service repair team. They told me that the charge was auto-generated and that if my kit passed inspection, they would refund my card. But this seems really backwards. It should be that my card gets charged if the kit was to fail inspection, not the other way around. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this and say that this is just an early wrinkle. I mean, the program is just starting out. But in any case, this is, again, just another thing that gets in the way of getting a repair done. It doesn't need to be this hard. I wasted an hour and a half of my time just to get money back that they were probably, maybe going to get me back anyway. And they were supposed to have done this 3 weeks ago. It's a disaster. Now you might be thinking, yeah, that process sucks and seems painful, but really at the end of the day, who's going out and repairing their own smartphone? Let's assume that that's true, that it's a very narrow number of people. I want to contrast Apple with Valve or Google or many other smartphone makers. Instead of using some huge logistics company that has a shoddy track record, Valve has partnered with one of the most well-known, well-regarded, public-facing consumer repair brands, iFixit. And rather than choosing just one part here and there, they are choosing to sell virtually every conceivable replacement part, not just for their new Steam Deck console, but also for their older Index VR headset. Now, the cost of the parts is, in almost all instances, very reasonable. And while you don't need to rent 100 pounds of tools to perform a repair, they are willing to sell you every implement you need for just $5 more than the cost of the part itself, which I don't even really know how they can afford to do that. There's no need to validate serials or to call anyone. You just need the device, the part, and the publicly available guide. That's it. The question is, can a delicate repair be done with such seemingly rudimentary tools? Which is why I've got this, my Valve Steam Deck, and this, a replacement part. I am going to be replacing my Steam Deck's standard glossy display with the fancy anti-reflective one exclusive to the 512 gig model. Okay, and now we begin. Step 1. As an extra precaution, Valve recommends putting your Steam Deck into battery storage mode within the BIOS. All right, let's do it. Power down the Steam Deck, hold the volume up and press the power button. Okay. Wow, this is cool. Power. The touchscreen doesn't work. Battery storage mode. When in storage mode, your Steam Deck will not respond to power button presses. To exit storage mode, plug the Steam Deck into the charger. So we got to remove the back screws first. I'm actually, to protect the analog sticks, I'm going to put this face down in the case. I feel like that's going to be our best move forward. I am going to grab the included iFixit screwdriver. So they moved these from metal to plastic, but one added benefit that they don't tell you about is that you have bit storage here in the bottom. And there's a SIM remover tool, which is kind of cool. So we've just got standard Phillips screws. That's nice, nothing proprietary. They are different lengths though. There's one, they're magnetic, nice. The screwdriver's magnetic. And look at that. The little tool tray they have has a bunch of screw storage slots. That's nice. Keep track of each screw and make sure it goes back exactly where it came from. That's some sage advice. Oh wow, look at that. They didn't lie. Pry up on the back cover to release it from the locking clips. That was super easy. Okay, once the clips are disconnected from one edge, the rest should disconnect easily. Let's do this one here. Holy smokes, is that all that? That was the easiest. I was like, if there's gonna be something that's tricky, it's gonna be that. Nope, that was a piece of cake. I don't want to tear this foil because it's typically used for EMI. So you don't want to tear this stuff because radios and electronics, they can get unfriendly. So we're going to keep this intact as much as we can. Remove the red screw. There we go. Okay. But I was right, there's a bunch of thermal pads. Grip the battery cable by the pull tab, right here, and pull it directly away from the motherboard. Here we go, the moment of truth. Easy peasy. Nice. Remove the SSD screw. This thing is very repairable. Oh, look at that. There's another kind of EMI shield for electromagnetic interference. Okay, that sticker's gone and done with. That's not a word, done and gone. Remove the heatsink screws. Okay, we've got one right here. Okay, the manual says this screw's captive, so we don't have to worry about it. Is that true? stays in there. Okay, wow. There's our SoC. There's our entire heatsink design. Pretty simple. Just one flat copper heat pipe going to a fairly narrow fin stack. There's a gasket around here so that it makes contact with the plastic case. And then there's a blower fan that's sucking air in right here and exhausting it through the cooler and then out the top of the steam deck. Simple as that. We're gonna have to reapply a thermal paste, and they actually give you some here in the box, which is nice. It's Arctic Silver Ceramique, but I'm going to use Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut instead. I might need to soften this adhesive. Nah, it's easy. Okay. Use a pair of tweezers to grip the edges of the speaker connector, which, oh, that's this little tiny guy. Holy smokes, that's small. Clear to not pull it by the cables. Oh, yep, that comes out nice and easy. Okay, here's the display cable. This uses a locking tab because it's a ZIF connector. I just kind of have to wiggle something in here to flip that up. There we go. And then very gently use a pair of tweezers to pull this out. Display ribbon cables do not like to be touched, so I'm going to be as ginger with that as we can. There we go. Okay. Pull out the audio connector. This one kind of, they actually have pull tabs on them if you notice, but I try not to use them too much because they're kind of, this one's a really, really tight one. Don't love the design of this, gotta be honest. There we go. Okay. And now I gently peel this back. Luckily, it's very lightly glued. Do I go all the way? Yes, I do. So I got to pull it off of this ribbon connector, which appears to connect to this daughter board over here. They actually, that's interesting. They're calling it a daughter board because it says DB. DB, DB, DB. So this is actually probably for like the touchpad controller or analog stick plugs into that. You can see the linear actuator, the motor right there. Interesting. Flip this up. ZIF connectors, they're everyone's friend. Okay, perfect. Wow. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those screws at all. They have a lot of Loctite on them, and they appear to be screwed directly into the plastic rather than standoffs, which makes them really hard to remove and prone to stripping, frankly. Okay. The last one. Oh, man. Don't strip on me, buddy. There we go. Nice and easy, wins the race. Okay, now we just remove our motherboard, it says, but I'm a little spooked because we've got some tape here. We'll remove this. Oh no. This was not the greatest disassembly. Is this by design? They put our thermal pads on top of the fabric tape that holds our antenna connector onto the board. This must be a problem in manufacturing. That is stupid. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this cable comes with us. It's glued here. We need to peel this a little bit. Okay. Peel this out. Okay. They weren't lying. That's it. So we've got our motherboard, our ribbon cable that goes to the audio connector. This is just to our headphone jack up here, as well as, I guess, it's the whole board. So we've got our headphone jack, we've got our power buttons, and then, yeah. So yet again, we use a pair of tweezers to peel back this little sticker. And we reveal a ZIF connector. So I'm going to flip this one up. This is for the display panel. And I'll use the spudger. There we go. And then this just peels right off. There we go. Okay, we'll let that sit. I actually think, yeah, look at this. They give you a brand new one. I don't know, do I want to replace it? I mean, it's fine, technically, so what does it matter? Why put a new one in if the existing one works fine, you know what I mean? Okay, now it's time to heat up the display adhesive. We need to prepare the eye opener. This is included in the $5 toolkit, and it's a tube of gooey, non-toxic material. You stick this in the microwave for 30 seconds, it warms up the goop, and then that allows you to have a hot pad that you can place on the display to help loosen up the adhesive. This is the poor man's version of Apple's very expensive heat press, and I think, frankly, it will achieve the same thing, maybe even a little better than Apple's did, because that one wasn't super great. All right, let's try it. Microwave time. You thought I was just gonna microwave it off camera. No. I need to use my Amazon Assistant powered microwave to heat up the eye opener. Here we go. We should just keep this on the workbench. Lunch. Ooh, that's definitely warm. I'm gonna hold this. 60 seconds. I need a timer. Oh, I know. And then grab my little tiny guitar pick and try to wedge it in. But it does say in big caution letters, don't insert the pick more than 1/8 of an inch or you risk damaging the display panel, ambient light sensor, or fragile cable underneath. Now, I am replacing this display, so I guess it doesn't really technically matter, but I just don't want to break it if I don't have to. Oh, there we go. Well, that's really scary. Okay. Insert it and then begin to slice the adhesive. Okay, so we're just gonna stick it in and get the adhesive off. It sounds really simple in practice. I don't know how easy this is gonna be. Oh yeah, I can hear the adhesive cutting. Oh, nice. This is the same black stick that Apple includes in their kit. iFixit charges like 4 cents for these, I think. Not really, but almost. And Apple's is like weirdly expensive. And you have to pay like $8 for shipping, I think. Plus this one says, iFixit, repair is noble. Apple's just says, why did you want to do this? Oh yeah, you can definitely hear that adhesive. Yeah, I'm trying not to insert it too far so as not to break anything, but I do want to cut the adhesive. Okay, I've made it there. Now do I do the bottom? I do. This is not warm anymore, so I'm gonna put that in for another 30 seconds. 3 minutes? Sure. That's a joke. Don't actually do it that long. Okay, we continue on our journey. Move this pick along. Oh yeah. I can hear it slicing as we speak. Oh, that's like butter. Oh, I just needed to get my eye opener a little toastier. Okay, let's stick it on this last side right here. Ooh, that's still hot. Hey, check out this laptop. This is a laptop from System 76. This is running Pop! OS, and it's a laptop from a Linux distro distributor. Pretty cool, huh? It's really not a bad piece of hardware either. It has a full-size Ethernet port, which cannot be said of most modern laptops. That should be good enough. Okay, I'm gonna go around the corner. Last of the adhesive. It's kind of tricky around these analog sticks. All right, I think all the adhesive is mostly cut. I'm a little impatient on this side, but that's okay. Now, I think I just am supposed to lift it out. Yeah, carefully lift up the right edge, opening it like a book. I feel like it should be easier than this. Maybe I didn't stick it in far enough. There we go. Yeah, okay. So lifting it up like a book. You can see the adhesive peeling apart. And that's it. Wow, look at that. It's a display without a ribbon cable. It's fascinating. I mean, there is a ribbon cable, but it's not built on. There we go, done. Yeah, I think they just want you to study what the adhesive strips look like so you can put your own adhesive on the new display. Unfortunately, they don't do that for you. It does appear that they've included some adhesive strips in the box, but that shouldn't be too hard. What we are going to need to do is prep this surface. So we need to remove all of the old adhesive. Otherwise, you're not going to get the display to sit down flush again. So we need to get rid of all of the adhesive and then use some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Oh, that's a stinky bag. There is a screen protector on it, don't worry, it doesn't look awful. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay, let's do this one real fast. I don't even know that you need to put much pressure on these. They're coming off pretty easily. Nice. And now is the fun / scary part. We just drop it in. It says, yeah, just push it back in place. It doesn't really say. So I'm going to align one corner first, just so that I get kind of my alignment, my bearings set. And then, yeah, you just drop it in. Okay. It's as easy as that. Make sure that that adhesive is good and stuck. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now we just do the exact same steps, but in reverse. It should be a lot easier to put together. A step I forgot in the assembly. We've got to remove the thermal paste from our SoC. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Look at it. It says Valve. Powered by AMD. That's fun. You just take the ZIF connector right here, you push it down, push down. There we go. We grab our back panel and we close it up. Now you could probably power it on if you wanted to make sure that you got everything reconnected, but I'm a genius, so I'm confident this is perfect. Here we go, moment of truth. I hear a sound. Do I see anything on the display? Is that on? Oh, yeah, we're good. It probably just did a BMS calibration, but I was a little spooked out for a second there. And that looks pretty good. It does seem not quite as bright as my old one. Oh, that's because the brightness is turned way down. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's as good as it ever was. Ooh, and that is nice. That does make a major difference. Cool. Okay, so that wasn't an apple to apples comparison. The Steam Deck is tightly packed, to be sure, but less so than an iPhone. And it's a lot easier to enter thanks to the lack of an IP rating. There's no waterproof adhesive in the way. But I do think that our little experiment highlighted the following. Number one, tech repairs can usually be done without fancy pants tools that weigh 79 pounds. Number two, replacement part margins should not be so high as to discourage self-repair altogether. That's what Apple is doing. It literally costs more money to fix something yourself than going to the Genius Bar. That's ludicrous. And number three, most importantly, there is absolutely, unequivocally, zero reason that a genuine part should have to be validated as such over the phone. Disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.